History is often taught as a sequence of grand designs, the victories of brilliant generals, the treaties of master diplomats, and the inevitable rise of empires. But look closer, and you find that the fate of the world often hangs on a knife's edge. Sometimes, the course of human civilization isn't changed by a master stroke of genius, but by a single catastrophic mistake, a forgotten gate left unlocked, a mistranslated word, a warning ignored. Tonight, we analyze 4 moments where a minor human error tore up the script of history and changed the world forever. It is May 1453. For over 1,000 years, Constantinople stood as the unbreakable bastion of the Roman Empire. Its legendary Theodosian walls had repelled dozens of sieges, surviving everything from barbarian hordes to the Crusades. Now, a massive Ottoman army led by Sultan Mehmed II surrounds the city. For 53 days, the city holds. The walls are battered by cutting-edge supercannons, but the defenders, though vastly outnumbered, refuse to break. The siege is at a total deadlock. Then, the unthinkable happens. A small, secondary pedestrian gate, known as the Kirk of Porta, used by citizens to access the outer lines, is left unlocked by a careless guard during a shift change. It was a minor logistical oversight, but in war, an oversight is an invitation. A small squad of Ottoman soldiers notices the unlatched door. They slip inside, climb the towers, and raise the Ottoman flag above the walls. Panic sweeps through the Christian defenders, who believe the city has fallen. The defense collapses. In a matter of hours, Constantinople falls. The Silk Road is severed, forcing European explorers to sail west into the Atlantic to find India, accidentally discovering the Americas. A single unlocked door unlocked the modern world. By 1588, Spain was the undisputed superpower of the globe, fueled by gold from the New World. But King Philip II had one major obstacle to his vision of a Catholic Europe: Queen Elizabeth I and her Protestant England. Philip's plan was absolute. Build an invincible armada of 130 ships, sail up the English Channel, pick up a massive invasion force in the Netherlands, and crush London. On paper, England stood no chance against the raw tonnage of Spain's floating fortresses. But months before the sails were even raised, the enterprise suffered a hidden, fatal wound. Drake's English raiders had burned Spain's primary supply of seasoned oak staves meant for food and water barrels. Desperate to meet the king's strict timeline, Spanish logistics officers made a critical blunder. They ordered new barrels to be built using fresh, green, unseasoned wood. Green wood warps, rots, and breeds bacteria when exposed to moisture. By the time the Armada reached the English Channel, the unseasoned barrels had warped thousands of gallons of fresh water leaked into the hull. Tons of meat and ship biscuits rotted into toxic sludge. The Spanish sailors were fighting severe food poisoning and dehydration before they fired a single cannon. When the nimble English ships attacked with long-range artillery and fire ships, the malnourished, weakened Spanish crews couldn't maneuver fast enough, forced to retreat around the brutal storms of Scotland and Ireland. Thousands of sailors died, not from English steel, but from starvation and thirst caused by rotting barrels. The invincible armada was destroyed. The balance of power shifted, and the British Empire was born, all because Spain rushed its carpentry. In June 1914, Europe was a powder keg of secret alliances, massive military buildups, and intense nationalism. Everyone knew a war was coming, they just needed a reason. Enter Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. He decided to visit Sarajevo to inspect the imperial military forces. It was a highly dangerous trip. A radical Serbian nationalist group known as the Black Hand had already deployed assassins along his announced parade route. The initial assassination plot failed miserably. A bomb thrown at the Archduke's car bounced off and exploded behind them, injuring several officers. Shaken, Ferdinand changed his plans and demanded to visit the injured officers in the hospital. However, no one briefed the Archduke's driver on the new route. The driver took a wrong turn down Franz Joseph Street. Realizing his mistake, he slammed on the brakes to reverse. The car stalled, completely exposed, directly in front of Schiller's Delicatessen. Standing on that exact corner, drinking a coffee, was Gavrilo Princip, one of the failed assassins who thought the opportunity had passed. He looked up, saw the Archduke sitting completely still just 5 feet away, drew his pistol, and fired. 2 shots changed the world. Because of a driver's wrong turn and a stalled engine, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia mobilized to protect Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia and France. Great Britain invaded Germany. Within weeks, the dominoes fell, launching World War I. The conflict claimed 20 million lives, collapsed 4 ancient empires, paved the way for World War II, and reshaped the geopolitical map of the modern world, all because of a wrong turn. On a Tuesday morning, it is July 1945. The war in Europe is over, but the war in the Pacific rages on. The Allied leaders issue the Potsdam Declaration, an ultimatum demanding the unconditional surrender of Japan. The terms are absolute: comply or face prompt and utter destruction. The world is unaware that the United States has just successfully tested the first atomic bomb in the New Mexico desert. The stakes could not possibly be higher. Japanese Prime Minister Kantaro Suzuki wanted to buy time. His cabinet was secretly debating the surrender terms, but they needed to formulate a formal response. At a press conference, Suzuki stated that the government was withholding comment for now, using the Japanese word Mokusatsu. Mokusatsu is a deeply nuanced word derived from the characters meaning silence and to kill. Suzuki meant it as, we are maintaining a policy of no comment for now. But international translators and news agencies interpreted the word differently. They broadcasted the translation to Washington as, the Japanese government treats the ultimatum with silent contempt. They were rejecting it outright. President Harry Truman took the translation at face value, believing diplomatic options were completely dead and that Japan refused to yield. He authorized the ultimate option on August 6 and August 9, 1945. The atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over 100,000 people vanished in an instant, and humanity officially crossed the threshold into the terrifying era of nuclear weapons. A tragedy born from a linguistic misunderstanding. We like to think of history as an unbreakable chain of grand events forged by destiny. But the truth is far more fragile. Our modern world is a tapestry woven out of pure chance, logistics, and human error. A locked door, an unseasoned barrel, a wrong turn, a mistranslated word. These are the tiny pebbles that trigger global avalanches. It begs the question, what minor, unnoticed choice are we making today that will echo through the next 1,000 years?